On Friday, May 14, 1993, Challenger 3985 is emerging from the shop building in Cheyenne, Wyoming. The engine is resplendent in a new coat of Imron paint. A new addition to the locomotive is the elephant ear smoke deflectors, or smoke wings, installed on the smoke box. This is the first time that this engine has worn smoke deflectors. Steam is being supplied to the locomotive from a steam generator in the boiler dorm car, which is sitting on an adjacent track. Preparations are underway to fire the locomotive up once the water in the boiler has warmed. Preheating water in the boiler greatly reduces the time needed to build a full head of steam after the fire has been lit. While the boiler water is being heated, crewmen attend to last-minute mechanical preparations prior to the engine's departure from Cheyenne. During the winter, much work was done to the engine in the locomotive back shop. Here we see the locomotive being ready to have some of its superheaters reinstalled. The superheater unit started to leak badly as the engine was returning from its stint on the CSX Railroad in the fall of 1992. The leaking superheater units had to be removed from the locomotive's front end before they could be repaired. With the work completed, they were tested and are now ready to be reinstalled. These crewmen are cleaning the steam pipe fittings which the superheater units will be reconnected to. The rust and deposits must be removed from the fittings so that they will not leak when carrying the full 275 pounds of steam pressure. Besides the superheater work, new fire brick was installed in the firebox. As it has always been, repairing and maintaining steam locomotives is hot, dirty work, usually accomplished in tight conditions. With its front end parked in a tight curve, the articulation of the Challenger engine is easy to see. The look of the engine in the smokebox area is considerably changed by the elephant ear smoke deflectors. This type of smoke lifter was used on some of the Challenger engines and on the 800 class Northern engines. Rolling black smoke indicates that the oil burner has been lit in the firebox. It won't be long now before the engine is ready to leave the shop area. With the steam pressure rising steadily, the line from the steam generator is disconnected. Last-minute mechanical problems have plagued the shop crew this morning. Less than an hour after the oil burner was lit, the engine has a full head of steam. With cylinder cocks open, the engine departs the shop area. The pilot truck and front engine unit on the Challenger are connected to the engine frame with a giant hinge pin. This allows the locomotive's front end to go through tight curves, with the rigid boiler protruding to one side or the other. This action is readily apparent as the engine comes through the curve. Today, Challenger 3985 will be pulling an empty passenger train from Cheyenne, Wyoming to Denver, Colorado. Today's trip will transport the engine and passenger equipment to Denver Union Station. This is in preparation for an historic excursion to take place on Saturday, May 15th. Before departing Cheyenne, the engine will couple to its auxiliary water and support cars. It will then pick up the passenger equipment and depart Cheyenne. Departing Cheyenne, trains immediately encounter the 0.82% grade of the new line over Sherman Hill on track number 3. Here we see the 3985 battling the grade at milepost 515.8. There is still a water tank at Spear, a reminder of the steam days. Here the train leaves the Laramie subdivision and enters the Greeley sub for the run south to Denver. The train speeds past grain elevators which stand sentinel along the track. Racing through Platteville, the special train makes full track speed as it heads south. The distance from Cheyenne to Denver is approximately 100 miles. South of Platteville, the 3985 and its train leave the siding after meeting a northbound hopper train. Notice the head-end crew leaning out of the cab of the 3985. They will notify engineer Steve Lee when the entire train is on the main line and he can begin to accelerate. The speed of the train is down to 20 miles per hour as it rolls through the industrial north end of Denver. Swinging off the main line, the 3985 and its train immediately roll through a Y before backing into the adjacent Union Pacific Intermodal Yard. As it rolls through the Y, the 3985 is making history. This is the first time that a Union Pacific Challenger engine has visited Denver since steam was dropped on the railroad in the late 1950s. Steve Lee has the Sanders running as the big engine negotiates the tight curvature in the Y. The 3985 was built for the Union Pacific Railroad in 1943 by the American Locomotive Works. The engine last saw service in 1957, pulling freight. For many years, it was stored at Cheyenne and was eventually put on display near the depot in 1975. Of the 105 Challengers built, it is one of only 2 that were saved. In 1979, the locomotive was taken off display and rebuilt in the back shop with volunteer labor. The Union Pacific consented to letting the engine enter excursion service, which it did in 1981, following the completion of its rebuilding. Built as a coal-burning engine, the 3985 powered trips primarily over Sherman Hill during the 1980s. In order to take the engine to more places on the railroad, the 3985 was converted to oil in 1990. The train backs into a track in the intermodal yard after successfully negotiating the Y. Here the train will be parked for the night. In preparation for its excursion duty on Saturday morning, the engine and train will be serviced during the evening hours. The 3985 and its passenger train are in Denver to celebrate 40 years of steam excursions on the Union Pacific Railroad. The first official steam excursion was sponsored by the Rocky Mountain Railroad Club on May 17, 1953. The trip ran from Denver to Laramie, Wyoming, and returned over Sherman Hill. The train was powered by Challenger engine 3967.